In the world of dance, those breathtaking moments that make time seem to pause often don't come from sheer acrobatic difficulty or exaggerated physicality. Instead, they arise from something far more subtle, a precise, almost poetic relationship between the body and the space around it. The elegance of long, flowing lines, the organic rhythm of movement, the visual illusion that the dancer is expanding to fill every corner of the stage, these are the signs that someone has moved beyond simply executing steps. This is where dance becomes art. And behind that transformation, there's a rarely mentioned yet profoundly important physical capacity, the body's ability to hyperextend its joints. Joint hyperextension refers to the ability of a joint to move slightly beyond its standard anatomical limit, bending in the opposite direction. The most common example is knee hyperextension. After the leg is fully straightened, the knee continues to push back just a little more, creating a gentle backward curve. To the untrained eye, this might seem unnatural, maybe even alarming. But to a trained dancer, it's a powerful tool. In fact, it functions almost like a form of punctuation or metaphor in the language of movement, subtle, expressive, and deeply effective. Multiple joints can participate in this kind of motion. The elbows may extend just a bit more in an expressive port de bras. The spine may arch in an almost serpentine fashion. The shoulders might open wider than expected, creating a sensation of breadth and reach. But among all of these, the hyperextension of the knees is especially significant, both in terms of aesthetics and technical potential. From a visual perspective, hyperextension dramatically enhances line. In dance, the concept of line refers to more than just straight limbs, it's about continuity, cohesion, and intention. It's the visual thread that runs through the body from fingertip to toe, creating a sculptural, almost architectural sense of form. When the knees can hyperextend, the legs appear longer, cleaner, almost impossibly graceful. It's as though the body defies its own structure, dissolving the limits of anatomy to reach for something more ethereal. Take, for instance, the iconic arabesque in ballet. The beauty of this shape hinges not just on how high the back leg is lifted, but on how perfectly aligned and uninterrupted that line appears. Hyperextension allows the leg to reach higher without disrupting the integrity of the pose. The result? A visual effect that seems suspended in time and space, weightless, yet grounded. Delicate, yet full of strength. But the impact of hyperextension isn't limited to isolated poses. It plays a crucial role in how movement unfolds. Dance is fluid, it breathes, it evolves, it tells stories through transitions. Hyperextended joints subtly increase the range and softness of a dancer's movement pathways. A leg sweeping through space creates a longer, silkier arc. A torso spiraling into a turn can elongate through the spine. Everything becomes a bit more expansive, as if the dancer is moving through water or air rather than gravity. This added fluidity also affects how a dancer claims space. Great dancers seem to fill the stage, not because they are physically larger, but because they move in ways that radiate outward. Hyperextension contributes to this spatial presence. A slightly bent back knee adds visual length. An overextended elbow amplifies the arc of an arm. With proper use of hypermobility, the dancer's body seems to stretch in multiple dimensions at once, up, out, and all around. The result is a three-dimensional presence, where even the quietest gesture feels full and deliberate. Yet, for all its beauty, hyperextension is not a shortcut to elegance, it's a challenge to control. It requires immense body awareness, muscular coordination, and technical precision. Not every dancer has joints that naturally hyperextend, and not every dancer who does can use it safely. In fact, without proper training and strength conditioning, it can pose serious risks. When a hyperextended knee isn't supported by the right muscle groups, like the quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves, it can lead to instability or even injury. The joint may hang, unsupported, or the leg's alignment may be compromised, disrupting the dancer's balance and power. Over time, this can result in strain, ligament issues, or chronic pain. So while hyperextension can enhance beauty, it demands rigorous control. Behind every beautiful movement is a deep, invisible foundation of strength, discipline, and anatomical knowledge. That's why elite dancers don't merely stretch, they condition. They don't chase extremes for their own sake. They train in ways that protect their joints, build core stability, and develop intelligent control over even the most extreme ranges of motion. The goal is never to push the body into submission, but to work with it, to refine and tune it like an instrument. In this way, hyperextension becomes more than a physical trait. It becomes part of the dancer's expressive palette. Just as a writer uses metaphor to deepen meaning, a dancer uses extended lines to enrich visual texture. That backward sweep of the knee, that delicate curve of the spine, that almost imperceptible rotation of the shoulder, these are the nuances that transform a sequence of steps into a moment of poetry. At its core, hyperextension is a bridge between physiology and artistry. It reveals how the human body, bound by bone and muscle, can still reach toward the infinite. It shows how dance can move beyond mimicking life to transcend it, to craft something elevated, heightened, and deeply felt. So the next time you find yourself watching a dancer lift her leg into the air, turn with breathtaking ease, or leap like she's weightless, don't just marvel at her strength or flexibility. Look closer. Somewhere in that seamless movement, there may be the softest bend in the knee, the smallest degree of hyperextension, barely visible, yet utterly essential. In that hidden space lies the quiet, powerful grace of a dancer in full command of her body and her art.